Phil Egan is with us to reflect on Katie Taylor's defeat at the weekend. Phil, how are you?
Good, yeah.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it was a risky fight to take for Katie, and just came up against somebody that was too big and too strong for her. And I didn't think it was a bad performance from Katie Taylor, but I just thought Chantelle Cameron was excellent. And one thing I wondered was how she would handle the occasion. She looked a little bit nervous on the walk in, and obviously to wait for Katie Taylor to come in. But as soon as the first bell went, Chantelle Cameron was on the front foot, and Katie Taylor just couldn't shake her. Just, I thought Katie Taylor landed some great punches. The combos that we always see from her, and eye-catching shots, and she landed some really clean shots, but she just couldn't keep Chantelle Cameron off her and just ground her down. And I think if they fight again, the same thing will probably happen.
Yeah.
But it was close. I don't buy the fact that some people thought it was like an absolute cakewalk for Chantelle Cameron. Like, I kind of thought 96, 94 was a fair call of it.
Was there anything differently that Taylor could have done?
Well, her best parts of the fight were when they were in the centre of the ring, and that's what her corner were telling her to do. But it's one thing being instructed to do it, it's another thing trying to actually carry it out, and that's where Cameron was so good, that she cut the ring off, and she just constantly had Katie Taylor in some tricky spots up against the ropes. And you have somebody of that weight, obviously they rehydrate after the weigh-in. They're obviously the same weight on Friday, but then by the time they come into the ring, Chantelle Cameron is bigger, and if she's leaning on you for 10 rounds, then it takes its toll, and that's kind of the advantage. And
there is some talk, if there is a rematch, that Cameron will come down further in weight. Would that be enough to swing anything in Katie Taylor's direction?
It might make things a little bit easier, but it's still a really tough fight, and you can imagine the confidence that gives Chantelle Cameron, knowing that she can beat.
Yeah.
I thought it was an excellent performance from her. Her corner got their tactics spot on, and people will say, why did Katie Taylor take this fight? But Katie Taylor didn't get to where she is by doing things easy.
Yeah.
We had this conversation earlier. I'm definitely like, you're allowed one. After you've done everything, you're allowed one homecoming fight where you fight somebody, and then, then you can do this as your swan song.
I don't think she takes the fight because she takes this fight because she thinks she can win. And I think
that's hubris, though. At some point, somebody has to say, like, this is a bigger fighter, a stronger fighter, a younger fighter, and I'm just not sure what the value of losing at this stage in your career is, or risking it.
But that's what makes the great fighters, though. Like, Muhammad Ali did the same.
Yeah.
Like, he would take on the greats.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali did not end well.
But I mean, when he did take on the greats at the stage of Katie Taylor's career, he often won. That's what makes you even greater again. Like, of course she's going to take that challenge on. Did you think it was the correct fight for her to take, Phil? I
thought when obviously the Serrano fight fell through, and then all of a sudden this was announced, I thought, wow, this isn't an easy one. This is like going up against the best, against somebody that's bigger and better. And but see,
I get
going into the fight, I kind of thought one thing Katie is going to have the advantage is in speed, better footwork, quicker hands, and as I said, those spells in the fight where they were in the centre of the ring, that's where she was able to show off those skills, but it didn't happen enough in the fight. So maybe they think if they get her again that they can make it more of a fight that suits Katie Taylor. But I said it's very hard when you've got somebody that, like, Katie can land those punches, but Chantelle Cameron said it, she's done it all her career. She takes punches. She's no problem taking punches. She'll take one to throw two, and that's exactly the tactics that she'd use. She's taken Katie Taylor's best shots, and she'll know now that she can take her best shots. Katie Taylor only has 6 knockouts, so that was always going to be the worry that
Cameron has more knockouts, right? She's about 8 heading into it, was it?
Yes, and she's obviously had less fights as well.
Yeah,
but look, the reason Saturday night happened and was such a big event was because of Katie Taylor. She's created this, and Chantelle Cameron said it before in the week, in the build-up, saying it's because of Katie Taylor I get the opportunity to be a professional. And I said,
and no one's ever going to take that away from her, definitely. No. I do think, though, that like the country would have been happy to show up, pay their money, subscribe to the fight just to see her win, to give her the money as like a, here's our return to you for all that you've done for us over the years.
But she's never going to do that.
Why not though? That's every boxer in the world. But every boxer in the world has always done it. Like Floyd Mayweather did it loads, like all the time.
Like Floyd Mayweather's doing exhibition fights now against YouTubers, and like Katie Taylor's never going to do that.
Yeah. Do you think it in any way diminishes her legacy, that defeat on Saturday night?
I don't really. I don't. But I do think that she deserved an easy fight, and that somebody somewhere along the way could have said, let's take an easy fight, because we're not sure how the whole thing in Dublin's going to work out and what you're going to feel, and the emotion of that whole thing might not be something that you're prepared for. Maybe you are, maybe you're not, I don't know. Maybe it has an impact, maybe it doesn't. But let's not pick a fighter who is so good. So the stats published today, it doesn't say where they've come from, but Cameron landed 141 punches, Taylor landed 111, so 30 more landed, but the numbers thrown, Cameron threw 565 and Taylor threw 284. So it's just overwhelming. Like the bigger fighter, the younger fighter, the stronger fighter with the longer reach is punching twice as often. And you've got to keep moving. So eventually that just wears you down.
Yeah, and that's it. It's relentless. And also the 2-minute rounds make those fights. They go by so quickly. There's no lull in the rounds. It's just constant. That's what makes them fight so exciting. Some people say, well, they should be 3-minute rounds, and maybe that's something that happens in the future. But for now, they're 2-minute rounds, and as soon as the first bell sounded, Chantelle Cameron was on it from the start, and I did wonder how she would handle the occasion, and she was exceptional.
If you're advising Taylor, what would you say to her next?
I would probably say to her, maybe you shouldn't fight Chantelle Cameron again, but who am I, or who are any of us to advise Katie Taylor what
she
to do?
should retire, right? She's had an incredible career. As you said, she has completely invented a new sport that will forever exist because of her. There's no more mountains to climb. There's just a beautiful retirement to have where you relax now. She's 36, she'll be 37 in July.
But maybe boxing is her favourite thing to do.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
But she doesn't want to retire.
It's really dangerous. It's a really, really dangerous sport. Every single punch has some concussive effect that could, in the end, cost you really years at the end of your life. I have to be honest about this. A lot of boxers will have horrible ends to their lives because of the damage inflicted on their brain from the punches that they receive again and again and again. And we kind of skirt around that topic when we talk about this. But every single time you watch a fight, there's a potential for life-changing brain damage to happen. She's made her money. She's got a gold medal from the Olympic Games. She's completely changed her sport more than anybody else. I just think that I hope somebody...
Well, it's the biggest conundrum with the greats. So you're saying someone should sit her down and say, Katie, you've nothing left to prove, and the danger here is you get hurt. Her retort to that is going to be, I'm one of the greats.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Sure,
I'm going to win next.
We know that.
Yeah.
We know you know what you're doing. Grand, but the risk gets increasingly high with each fight now, and at your age. You're slowing down a bit now. You're not able to do the things that you were able to do 5 years ago and 10 years ago. And your opponents are getting bigger and stronger.
I would be shocked if that was her last fight.
I don't think she wants to go out on a defeat.
No.
But I do think that if she fights Chantelle Cameron again, it could be
more one-sided.
A very similar story. And
the Pursoon back-to-backs, she dominated the second one, right? Katie did.
Yeah, and that showed that she learned from the first fight. And again, that was about fighting smarter. And maybe she can do that against Chantelle Cameron, but Cameron is better than Pursoon.
Way better. Yeah.
Technically so much better.
Yeah. All right. OTB AM, thanks Phil. OTB AM live with Gillette Labs. Get the ultimate shave or your money back. Neon Night Edition is available